Hello friends and a very warm welcome to Spoonful of Simplicity English. Today's recipe is a delight for all the chocolate lovers. So let's begin learning the chocolate chunks cake from the scratch. We'll start with the chocolate sponge, for which we need curd or yogurt 125 ml, that is half a cup, caster sugar 80 grams, which is equivalent to 1/3 cup. If you don't have caster sugar, you can use any other sugar, but make sure you grind it first. Next, we'll add oil, 60 ml of oil, which is equivalent to 1/4 cup, and mix all of these into a nice homogeneous mixture. Next, we are going to add milk to this, which is equivalent to 60 ml, that is roughly 1/4 cup, and we'll follow it with chocolate and vanilla essence, with 1 teaspoon each, which is 5 ml each. A point to note here is that I'm using half the quantity of milk that I usually use, so please follow this recipe to the T. To these liquid ingredients, we are now going to add the dry ingredients, which is all-purpose flour or refined flour, 220 grams, which is around 3/4 cup, baking powder 1 teaspoon or 5 grams, baking soda half a teaspoon or 2.5 grams, and salt 1/8 teaspoon or a pinch. And because this is a chocolate cake, we're going to add cocoa powder 4 tablespoons, which is roughly 60 grams. After sieving them through a nice sieve, we are going to mix them all together using a whisk. We shall mix it till we see no large flour pockets in our batter. A point to note here, friends, is that this is going to be a thicker batter, so please make sure the consistency is not loose. Next, because it's a chocolate chunks cake, I've used chocolate compound here, but you can also use the normal chocolates that you get in the department stores, and I've used 100 grams of dark chocolate and 50 grams of milk chocolate and chopped them into huge chunks and mixed these in the batter. I've kept a few aside to garnish them on the top of the cake once we've poured it into the baking tin. Now I am using a 8-inch baking tin here, which is lined and oiled well. I've transferred all the contents into this baking tin, and after which I'm going to add the remaining chocolate chunks to the top, so that, like I always say, when you're having a bite of the cake that it's intended to be, you should feel like you're biting into the right thing. So I'm going to garnish this with the remaining chocolate chunks, after which I'm going to tap this a few times and then bake it in a preheated oven at 160 or 170 degrees, and it should take roughly around 30 to 40 minutes to bake completely. Once this cake is fully baked, you can do a skewer test and find out if it's baked well, and after taking it out and letting it cool for a bit, you can loosen the sides and take it out and put it on a rack so that it cools completely. This step is essential because we are going to frost this cake with an icing, and for that we need the cake to be completely cooled down. Like I said, if you look at this cake, this is an absolutely amazing chocolate chunks cake. Had this batter been liquidy like my other batters, all the chocolate chunks would have sunk to the bottom of the cake and made it really messy. So please remember, the consistency has to match what I have mentioned in my recipe earlier. While the cake is cooling down, let's prepare the whipping cream. I've used non-dairy whipping cream, which is 1 cup, around 250 ml, and I've added chocolate essence 1 teaspoon, which is 5 ml, and cocoa powder 1 tablespoon, which is 15 grams. And I'm going to beat this using a hand beater to form soft peaks, and for that I'm going to beat it at low to medium speeds. And once my whipping cream reaches the soft peak stage, I'm going to beat it at the highest speed to form stiff peaks like this. Now let's begin frosting the cake. But before that, we are going to cut it in two halves, and I'm using a cake leveler. You can use a knife instead. And then I've placed it on a cake base on a rotating table, and I'm going to frost this cake directly. I'm not going to use the sugar syrup because I need this cake to remain a dry cake. I'm making it for someone who's going to take it away, and it's going to be eaten after a day. So I don't want to take any chances, so I've kept it dry. So if you want to increase the longevity of the cake, make sure you bake it soft enough so that you don't need the sugar syrup at all. So I laid it with frosting and I put some chocolate bits, and now I have placed the top part of the cake, and I'm frosting it well. While frosting, friends, you need to remember that the gap between the two layers of the cake should be properly filled with the frosting, and the rest of the whipping cream or any other cream that you're using should be leveled well. Now, friends, non-dairy whipping cream is one of the options. You can also use dairy whipping cream. You can use buttercream to frost the cakes. And when I say dairy whipping cream, you need to make sure that it's a heavy cream which has 30% fat. And then normally you can just decorate it however you like. Friends, if you wish to learn more about frosting, kinds of frostings, how do we make the right kind of consistency of the frosting, what all nozzles are available, how can you decorate the cakes well with nozzles, please do let me know in the comments section, and I'll be happy to do a separate session about frosting and probably a few others to show you how to use nozzles well and more efficiently. Now, coming back to this cake, I have used some more chocolate bits and decorated the flowers that I earlier made on the cake, and I'm decorating the bottom of the cake as well. With this, our cake, delicious chocolate chunks cake, is ready to devour. Now, let's cut a piece and see how it looks. So, the way that my knife goes, like I always say, you can make out that this is a really soft cake, and there are beautiful and really hard chocolate chunks throughout the cake, which are going to be a mouthful for anybody who bites into it. If you like my recipe, please do like, share and comment on my recipes, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you're always kept aware of any new recipes that I post. And hey, don't go away yet. Let's hear from the people who tasted this cake. How does it taste? How do you find this cake?
Oh, this is absolutely yum.
How do you like the cake?
Yummy, tempting.
कैसा है केक?
आदू
कैसा है केक?
यम्मी। बुआ को बोलो कैसा है?
मेरे को बताओ कैसा है केक?
बोलो सामने देखिए। थैंक यू।
कैसा लगा केक? खा के बताओ। Thank you for watching our recipe today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye bye.